Hey guys, I've had a number of inquiries on to what happened to the ZX10. So it is right here. You can see it right here. It's pretty much apart. Got it covered up out here, but yeah, I've got the front end off. I'm making some modifications to it, and I will have it on the channel eventually, so just bear with me. It's turning out to be a fairly busy summer. So anyhow, that's not what we're here to talk about. So today I want to talk about women riders. Not really. I really want to talk about the fact that my wife rides, and she's got a little bit different taste than me. And I think that today is a good day to introduce her bike to the channel. So stick around and we'll go through her new bike. All right, so to me, kind of the best way to show you this bike is to just take it for a ride. This is the 2022 Triumph Bonneville Bobber. It's a mouthful. Now this bike is a little bit small for me. I am 6 foot tall. I weigh about 200 pounds, and so I'm a little cramped up on it. You know, I don't know if you can tell, but otherwise, this is a fantastic bike, and my wife really likes riding it. It has got a 27-inch seat height, so pretty much anybody can flat foot this bike. It's a 1200cc bike. It has, I think that's about 73 cubic inches for all you Indian and Harley fans. It has got a real retro look to it, and I'll run some B-roll of that along this ride. It's got dual Brembo brakes up front, dual discs. It's got a single Brembo in the back. No, it's actually, I think it's got a Nissan in the back. Really good stopping power either way for a bike that only weighs, 550 pounds maybe. This really suits my wife really well. It's pretty lightweight. It's got plenty of power. It has a great look to it. I don't know if I would call this a true bobber, but it's it's got a real retro look to it, and it's fun to ride. It's you can just kind of toss it around. It's almost like a sport bike weight, and it's got a lot of great features. It's got cruise control. It's got riding modes. And is one of the smoothest transmissions I've ever felt on a motorcycle. You could ride this bike barefooted, shifting through the gears. It takes no effort. Well, a little backstory on this bike is last year, my wife was running a Kawasaki ZX6. It's a super sport. She really liked that bike, but it's pretty tall for her. She's only 5'4", and I don't know, she never really felt safe on that bike because she was always scared she was going to tip it over. In fact, she did tip it over once coming up the driveway. She was going a little slow and just lost her balance, and off it went. So after that, she decided, we had some friends that rode cruisers, and so she decided she wanted to try her hand at a cruiser. I kind of forced her into buying a Honda Rebel 1100 DCT because I thought, well, it's low to the ground, it's lightweight, she doesn't have to think about shifting, and she hated that bike. Well, she didn't hate it. she just didn't like not having a clutch, and that really threw her off. Along about that same time, I was also considering getting into a cruiser, and so I did. That's what I traded my Goldwing on. And after she saw that, she decided she wanted something different. And 4 days later, we went out and we bought this. In fact, it was sitting right next to my bike on the showroom floor, and so it worked out. Anyway, this bike's got great pickup. We have made some modifications to this bike. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. This bike is just fantastic to ride. I wish it was a little bigger. I would highly recommend it, though. If you're under 6 foot tall and looking for a bike that is easy to ride, has a lot of features, and, you know, really premium stuff, Triumph is your answer. I mean, it's not cheap, but it doesn't cost any more than a Sportster S. It's got a monoshock rear end. It's got standard forks up front, but they're actually pretty decent. Showa front end. Yeah, this thing does not want for power. It's got plenty of passing power. But, you know, you're going to take a lot of wind. They do make bigger windshields for it, obviously. This is just a little vanity windshield here on this one. And it's pretty... I mean, it does help a little bit, but not really. I mean, it keeps... There's no buffeting, though, but probably getting a lot of wind noise in the camber right now. Yeah, I'm just cruising at 70 miles an hour, and this thing's not struggling at all. Can't be going over 3,000 RPMs. It's got great bar end mirrors. You got really good vision. They're way out wide, you know, as wide as the handlebars, so you can see behind you really well. Yeah, so anyway, so we have done some customizations to it. We put on this little fly screen here from, I think, Dart Fly Screens. We've got, you know, some little bibs and bobs from Triumph. The biggest probably change was I put in an X pipe, which removes the catalytic converter, and then put on some custom pipes from British Customs, and they sound pretty good. It's probably the loudest bike we have in the garage, actually. If my wife rode it more, we probably wouldn't even have to put some kind of different pipes on them. But you know, when we ride around town, this is the bike that she likes to ride, and she's really enjoying it a lot. Although I will tell you, I mean, she is, I think, tempted by some of the Indian offering. Now, like I said, this bike's a little small for me, but for anybody that's say under 5'10", this bike is could be a great ride. Now, if we put, like, you know, forward controls on it and stuck my feet out a little further and I adjusted the seat back further, which it does, then I think this would it would be okay. It would still be a little small. I feel a little low to the ground. You almost forget you're on a full-size motorcycle when you're on this bike. Ooh, that was a big bump. It's a great little cruiser. I don't really feel like I would call this a starter bike, given it comes in at around $15,000. But it's got all the elements that you need in a starter bike. It could be a starter bike if you wanted it to be, but I think I would probably not recommend this as a starter bike, given the investment you'd have to make and the potential downside of scratching or denting a brand new bike like this. This thing only has about 4 inches of ground clearance, so it's very low to the ground. So if you're doing twisties or whatnot, it would probably be scraping pegs, but you know, that's okay. So the, you know, kind of one of the downsides of Triumph for us anyway, You know, your mileage may vary wherever you're at in the world, but there's not a lot of Triumph dealerships. In fact, the dealership we bought this bike from is an hour away from our house, which honestly isn't that bad, I guess, for a lot of people. Some people have to drive hundreds of miles to get to their dealer. But in this case, it's about 60 miles away, and it's kind of a pain. This thing has great brakes. It really stops in a hurry when you need it to. It's got anti-lock brakes on it. Does not have like an IMU or anything, but it's got rain and road mode. It's got cruise control. You know, it's got all the amenities. And really what Triumph does really well is they have really beautiful paint. They have they use just top shelf parts. You can really tell the difference. Even on the Indian, I mean, it's you know, that would be considered a premium bike as well. But this bike has, I mean, just everything is metal, and it's solid, and it's well machined, and everything is just really nice. And I think that's a selling point, and it's why you spend a few extra bucks. I think I just hit a bird. That's crazy. So anyway, the instrumentation is pretty retro, but it's got this little digital panel that has a lot of information in it. Overall, this bike is just really fun to ride. You can't help yourself, you know, just get on it. It sounds good, rides good, suspension's good. Gets a lot of looks, a lot of side eyes because people don't know what it is. You don't see very many Triumphs around my town. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to introduce this bike, take you for a quick ride just so I could talk about it a little bit. And we'll go from here. So if you have any questions about this bike, you know, leave them down in the comments so I can answer those. I'm sure, you know, it's just not really a full review. I'm just trying to do an overview of the bike, introduce these bikes because I'm tired of hiding them, and it making videos a lot easier. What do you think? What do you think of this 2022 Bonneville Bobber? Great little bike in my opinion. Not sure how long its life is in our garage, but my wife's enjoying it. She rides it a lot. She rides it back and forth to work almost every day when it's nice out. And there you have it. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. I really hope you like the Triumph Bonneville Bobber. My wife really enjoys it. It's a fantastic bike, excellent fit and finish. It's a little expensive, but if you've got the money, I think it competes really well with like the Harley Sportster S or even the Harley Sportster 48. I think, you know, if you're wanting a little more budget oriented, you could look at the Vulcan 900 or the Revel 1100. Those are both fantastic bikes at a much lower price point. But if fit and finish and just a unique retro look is what you're after, I think the Triumph Bonneville Bobber is an excellent bike. And I hope to bring you a lot more videos on this bike over the summer. I will do a full review, but next week I will be finishing up this series with the unveiling of our last bike, and you don't want to miss that one. That one's a really fantastic bike, and we will go from there. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching.